Well, let me ask you this. Who's the primary victim of... are you pro-life or pro-choice?
Oh, it's reversed. I am pro-choice.
Pro-choice.
Yes,
okay.
Pro-choice.
Trying to think how I want to frame the argument on this one.
Yeah. I think that's the least shitty option that we have for unwanted pregnancies. I don't think abortion is good either, but
okay, here, look.
Do
you have any kids?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Or what do you think about this argument? So men are the primary victims of giving birth, or they're the equal victims of giving birth because though they feel no physical pain, no physical or actual pain, they incur psychological trauma and a feeling of powerlessness when they have to see their wife or partner give birth.
I don't know what the man's feelings about giving birth really is.
He has to see, so men are the primary sufferers when their wives give birth, because although they feel no physical pain, there's like a psychological trauma that they experience by seeing their wife go through labor.
I never actually heard anything about that, actually. To my knowledge. Well, nobody told me about it.
Would you agree or disagree with that claim?
I can't do either, because I never heard about it and I don't know. And I don't... I would assume that you would get like some sort of painkiller when you give birth, wouldn't you? I mean, I would like to have it if I gave birth. I think it's going to be very painful.
When it comes to giving birth, who suffers more through that process, the woman or the man?
I don't know, because I feel like that's two different kind of sufferings. I think a psychological suffering is probably as bad as the physical one.
Oh boy!
But I wouldn't know.
How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning?
I would hate life. I would just hate life. If I didn't eat breakfast this morning.
Oh, man. Okay.
I don't think I understand your questions correctly.
Even if I disagree with women, doesn't mean I hate them.
No. I didn't
I got a sister, I got a mom. I love women. I don't always see eye to eye with all of them. Don't always understand them. But I think that's a big difference between me and feminists. Feminists are anti-man.
I'm not anti-man.
Maybe not you, and you kind of are, because you aren't willing to at least concede that when it comes to military conflicts, you won't even concede that this is a way in which men are victims. You won't even concede that.
That is also a way in which men are victims. I'm just saying men aren't the only victims.
Yes, but the question is, who's the primary victim, the number one victim? Who is impacted more by this issue?
But everybody is impacted about that. And besides...
Okay, let me ask you a question. No, hold on. No, stop. I have an example.
Oh.
Okay, so a woman gets essayed. Terrible, right?
Yeah.
Terrible. She has a husband, and she gets essayed. Who's the bigger victim? The woman who gets essayed, or the husband for feeling terrible about it? That happened.
The woman.
No, but he's also a victim.
Where? Yes, I guess. Of course. That's not that's a shitty situation for everyone.
But who's the primary victim of it?
The woman. The woman is the primary victim.
So why is it so easy for you to say that in this instance, even though the men in her life are going to feel very aggrieved by the fact that she was essayed. They're going to want to get revenge on the guy. They're going to feel terrible about the fact that she was essayed.
Yeah.
They're going to suffer also.
They are going to suffer also.
But she's still, and I'm also willing to say this, she's the primary victim.
Yeah.
So when it comes to war, when it's 99% of men who are getting blown up, who are losing limbs, who are straight up dying, and the vast majority of women, even in the volunteer force, are not subject to any of the barbarism that can be experienced in warfare. They get to go away somewhere. They get to be typically safe. Not all the time, but most of the time they're safe. Most of the time they're safe. Even the women in the military, they're not on the front line typically. Why can't you concede that men are the primary victims of war?
Well, in that case, I just think there's more than one victim. It's just like
yes,
a woman.
But in the essay example, yes, there's more than one victim, right?
Yeah.
The husband, the brother, the father, they're going to be very upset that she was essayed, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
But she's the primary victim.
Yeah.
So why can't you apply the same exact logic to the fact that when it comes to warfare, men have
I just don't think it's the biggest grievance of men. I think it's the grievance of all people, even if men are the primary victims of war.
Yes, other people are impacted by war, but this is.
But women are also dying in war. Maybe they're just
in Ukraine.
dying
Oh my God, this is
as casualties.
Civilian casualties.
Yes, also civilian casualties.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Let's say there's 10,000 civilian casualties in a given war, and it's 90% women who are the civilian casualties, but there's 1 million male military deaths. Who's the bigger victim?
Fine. Then it's the men. But then men needs to stop starting wars then.
Oh my God, that's oh my God. Okay.
Men are, that's the thing about all of that. Men are making men suffer.
But other men, it's men's fault though. What if I told you that throughout human history, queens were actually much more likely to wage warfare than men?
Yeah, but there was so much fewer of them. And they were always...
Yeah, but they were more likely.
Most of them
were more likely. So when they do get power, and then additionally, lesbian women are more likely to. They're more likely, domestic violence. Lesbian couples.
Well, they shouldn't do that either.
Yeah, but it's more common in women.
And 99% of
No, per capita. It's per capita.
Yeah, per capita.
Yeah.
And 99% of all perpetrators are men. But then you can keep going.
Actually, that's not true. But
yes, it actually is.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, hold on. Another one coming through.
North Alberta kid donated $69. I genuinely feel bad for her. She is nervous and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But she is another case of someone who thinks they're smart but